created a new project called Timer Clock Demo, and we're going to introduce the timer component. So in my form, I've set my text to timer demo and then parentheses clock. I'm going to come down to the components area in my toolbox, and there's a timer component. I'm just going to drag it to my form, and it's not a visible component, so it's going to put it on the system tray, but it is an object. And as an object, it has properties. I'm going to pull my properties up over here. I'm going to pull my system tray up so it's a little more visible in a closer up view. So we can give our timer a name. I'm going to name this one TMR clock. It has an enabled property which tells us whether that clock is running or not. So the default here is false, and if it was true, the clock would execute some code based on a tick event, and the tick event occurs at an interval that is measured in milliseconds. So the default here is 100 milliseconds, which is 1/10 of a second. I'm going to set this clock to 1 second, so I'm going to make it a clock where every second it updates. So I'm going to set it to 1,000. 1,000 milliseconds is 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and set the enabled property to true. And then in the events, I'm going to give it a method to run with the tick event. I'm just going to call it update clock. So here now is my code for update clock. We're going to create a date time object, and I'm just going to call it current time. And it's going to equal datetime dot now. Now is a property of the datetime object, and it retrieves the system clock time and date. And I'm going to go back to my design. I'm going to put a label just down here at the bottom. I'm going to name that label LBL clock. I'm going to go back to my code, and now we're going to code LBL clock equals, LBL clock dot text equals, we're going to take the current time and we're going to format it to a long date string. That is a method, so I need parentheses, and then I'm going to concatenate to that just a few spaces, and then I'll concatenate to those two strings the current time dot to long time string. So the long date string shows the current time as the day of the week, the month, the day, and the year. And the long time string is going to show us the hours, minutes, and seconds. If you do a short time string, it's going to be hours and minutes. A short date would basically show the numbers of the month, day, and year. And there's some other formats. You can read more about date time objects in the Microsoft documentation if you go to the Microsoft Docs, or Google date time C#, and you'll find lots of stuff there. So that's it as far as creating a clock. Very simple. This is going to fire every second. We set the interval time to 1,000 milliseconds. Let's just run this. So there now is our clock. Today is Friday, March 15, 2019. It's 7:43 p.m. and you see that it's updating every second.